If you own a dog in the UK right now and you haven't done one simple thing, you could be handed a fine of up to £500. No warning letter, no second chance, just a penalty notice. And suddenly your peaceful life with your beloved companion becomes a legal headache. This is not a scare story. This is real. It is enforced, and thousands of dog owners across England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland are currently non-compliant without even knowing it. So before you take your dog for its next walk, before you let another day go by thinking everything is fine, stay right here, because this video is going to walk you through exactly what the law says, what has changed, what DEFRA now requires, and most importantly, what you need to do today, step by step, so that you are fully protected, fully legal, and never at risk of losing your dog or your money.
Let's go back in time for a moment, because understanding where we've come from helps explain why so many people, particularly those who have owned dogs for many years, are confused about the current rules. For over a century, from 1878 to 1987, dog owners in the UK were required to purchase an annual dog licence, which cost a modest fee and helped local authorities track dog populations. That system was abolished in 1987 when the government deemed it inefficient and costly to administer. So, for nearly 40 years, millions of British dog owners grew up in a world where no licence was needed. You simply got a dog, loved it, and got on with your life. No paperwork, no registration, no database, nothing. But then the world changed. Dog theft soared, stray numbers climbed, dangerous incidents increased. The government had to act. And in 2016, everything shifted. Since the 6th of April 2016, all dogs in England, Scotland and Wales must be microchipped and registered on a DEFRA-approved database by 8 weeks of age. This legal requirement ensures that every dog is traceable from birth, helping reduce stray populations and resolve ownership disputes. That was the beginning of the modern era of dog ownership law. But here is what most people still do not realise: the rules did not stop there. They have been updated, strengthened and tightened several times since, with the most significant changes coming into effect in 2024 and 2025. And those changes carry real financial consequences for anyone who has not kept up. The UK Dog Microchipping Law 2025 is now officially enforced and applies to all dog owners across England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Effective from the 1st of October 2025, the revised legislation tightens identification rules to promote responsible pet ownership, reduce stray populations, and ensure faster reunification of lost pets with their owners. These new rules are being overseen by DEFRA, the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, and supported by local councils and veterinary clinics. So what does this mean in practical terms? It means the old assumption that my dog has a chip from years ago, I'm fine, is no longer good enough. The law has moved beyond simply having a chip inserted. The chip must be registered. The details on that registration must be accurate and current, and the database holding that information must be DEFRA compliant. The law now places full responsibility on the pet owner to ensure the chip is correctly registered. Let that sink in. The responsibility is on you, the owner, not the vet who inserted the chip, not the breeder who sold you the dog, not the rescue centre. You. And if your address has changed, if your phone number is different, if your name has changed, and that information is not updated on the database, you are, right now, in breach of the law. If a dog is found without a valid microchip or with outdated information, authorities issue a 21-day compliance notice. Owners are legally required to comply within 21 days by either microchipping the dog or updating the registered information. Non-compliance within this timeframe triggers penalties. Owners may face a fine of up to £500 upon conviction, £500 for something that can be fixed online in under 10 minutes. That is the reality of the situation, and it is why this video matters. Now, one of the most confusing parts of all of this, and the part that trips up the most people, is the database system itself. People hear the word database and assume there is one central government register where you simply type your name and you're done. That is not how it works, and misunderstanding this is one of the biggest reasons people think they are compliant when they are not. There are 15 DEFRA-compliant pet microchip databases in the UK. They work by talking to each other. If you search one, you are searching them all. These are private companies, approved by DEFRA to hold your pet's data. Some charge a one-off lifetime fee, some charge annual subscriptions, some are completely free. And the key thing to understand is that your dog must be registered on at least one of them with your correct current contact details. DEFRA has committed to legislation changes requiring prevention of duplicate registrations and a single point of search and access for authorised organisations, changes that the industry has been eagerly awaiting. Among the most well-known DEFRA-compliant databases are PetLog, PET-Track, Microchip Central, Animal Tracker, MyPet, Pet Database and PetScanner. PetDatabase.com is the only free DEFRA-compliant UK database, offering a completely safe and secure place to store your pet's details with unlimited changes allowed. The important thing is that whichever database your dog is registered on, you are able to log in, verify the details, and update them whenever anything changes. And there is a free national chip checker tool, www.check-achip.co.uk, that is integrated with all participating DEFRA-compliant databases, allowing you to instantly confirm where your dog's chip is registered simply by entering the microchip number. If you are not sure which database your dog is on, or whether your dog is registered at all, go to www.check-achip.co.uk right now and type in your dog's microchip number. The answer will come back within seconds. This is the single fastest action you can take today to protect yourself and your dog. Now, let's talk about something that does not get discussed enough: why this particular issue falls harder on older dog owners than anyone else. Many seniors have had dogs their whole lives. They remember the old licensing system. They remember when a dog was just a dog, a companion, a family member, something that did not require registration or databases or digital compliance. They got their current dog years ago. The vet put a chip in at the time, and since then they have simply got on with enjoying life with their pet. But here is the problem. When a chip is inserted, the breeder or vet typically registers it on a database, usually in the breeder's name or the clinic's details, as the initial registration. When you took ownership of that dog, you were supposed to transfer that registration into your name with your contact details. Microchipping must be done before a puppy leaves its breeder. By the time puppies leave their mother, usually between 8 and 12 weeks old, they must be microchipped and registered. But the transfer of registration to the new owner, that step frequently gets missed. And years later, the chip still exists, but the database record still shows the breeder or the rescue centre or the previous owner, not you. This matters enormously if your dog ever goes missing. It matters to enforcement officers doing spot checks. It matters in proving ownership in any dispute. And it matters to the law. Because a chip registered in someone else's name does nothing to prove that you are compliant. You, as the current keeper, must be the registered owner on a DEFRA-compliant database. You must update your contact information within 14 days of moving to avoid being non-compliant. 14 days, that is the legal window after any change of address. So if you moved house 6 months ago, even down the road, even to a bungalow across the village, and your microchip database still shows the old address, you are technically non-compliant today. Many seniors move later in life to be closer to family, to downsize, or to move into supported living, and this detail is almost always forgotten in the chaos of moving house. Some people hear this and think, well, how likely is enforcement really? Let's be honest about this, because this is an important question. Local authorities in Great Britain only issued 21-day enforcement notices in an estimated 13% of potential cases, with fines ranging from £20 to £500. Battersea Dogs and Cats Home has been campaigning for years for stronger enforcement, and that strengthened enforcement is now arriving. The 2025 updates exist precisely because the government recognised that passive non-enforcement was not working. Local councils and dog wardens now have clearer powers and stronger guidance. Most councils employ dog wardens who enforce dog control legislation, investigate complaints, and deal with stray dogs. They have powers to issue fixed penalty notices and take legal action where necessary. In cases involving dangerous dogs or serious incidents, police may become involved and have powers to seize dogs and prosecute owners under various pieces of legislation. And here is something that many people do not realise. Enforcement does not only happen when something goes wrong. Dog wardens can now perform spot checks at dog parks and community events. If your dog is scanned and the chip comes back unregistered or registered to someone else or with outdated details, you may be handed a notice on the spot. Failure to comply with the UK Dog Microchipping Law 2025 can result in a £500 fine, a warning notice, or even removal of the dog in extreme cases. Removal of the dog. Those three words should settle any doubt about how seriously the government is taking this. Your dog could be taken from you while a dispute or compliance issue is resolved. For any dog owner, that prospect is heartbreaking. For a senior citizen who relies on their dog for companionship, routine, and emotional well-being, it is unthinkable. The simple act of checking your registration today could prevent that from ever happening. Right, now let's get practical. Here is exactly what you need to do, in the correct order, so that by the time this video ends, you know precisely how to make yourself fully compliant. The first thing to do is find your dog's microchip number. This is a 15-digit number. It will be on your original documentation from when the dog was chipped, sometimes on a small card, sometimes on a vet vaccination record, sometimes in a pet passport or puppy pack. If you cannot find it, your vet can scan your dog and give you the number at the next appointment. Many vets will do a quick chip check free of charge, especially if you explain the reason. Once you have the microchip number, go to www.check-a-chip.co.uk and search it. This free tool connects across all DEFRA-compliant databases. Within moments, it will tell you whether your dog is registered, on which database, and whether your details appear as the keeper. If the details are wrong, outdated, or missing, you will know immediately. If your dog is already registered on a database and your details are simply out of date, contact that database directly. Most of them allow you to update your address and phone number online through a secure login. Some may charge a small admin fee for updates, others do not. The average cost of microchipping itself in the UK in 2026 is around £35. Pet charities and events sometimes have free or low-cost microchipping offers. If your dog has never been registered, or if the registration is under a previous owner or breeder and you need to transfer it, you will need to contact the relevant database and complete a transfer of keepership. Some databases ask for a transfer code, which the previous owner or breeder should have provided, while others allow transfers based on your vet's confirmation or documentary proof. If you are unsure of any of these steps, your vet surgery is the best first port of call. They deal with this regularly and can point you in the right direction. Alternatively, your local council's website will list contact details for the local dog warden service, who are there to help as well as to enforce. Now, we want to make sure we cover something that some viewers may need to know, because the law goes further than microchipping alone for certain situations. Several specific circumstances require official registration or licensing beyond microchipping. If you are breeding dogs commercially, operating a boarding kennel, or running a dog training business, you will need appropriate licenses from your local authority. The applicant must complete an application form for each of the licensable activities they apply for and send the completed forms to the relevant local authority along with the application fee payment. The relevant local authority will be the one that covers the area of the applicant's premises where the majority of the applicant's licensable activities happen. www.gov.uk. So, if you are a senior who breeds dogs occasionally, runs a small home boarding service, or looks after other people's dogs regularly, you may need a specific animal activity licence from your local council, under the Animal Welfare Licensing of Activities Involving Animals Regulations 2018. This is separate from the microchipping requirement and comes with its own inspections, standards and fees. Check with your local council if you are unsure whether your activities require a licence. And for those who bring dogs into the UK from abroad or who travel with dogs internationally, the Animal Welfare, Import of Dogs, Cats and Ferrets Act 2025 now makes provision for restricting and regulating the importation and non-commercial movement of dogs. From the 4th of June 2025, the Northern Ireland Pet Travel Scheme allows movement of pet dogs from Great Britain to Northern Ireland with a pet travel document, valid for the lifetime of the pet, and the pet must be microchipped with registered details up to date. Here is the honest truth. The UK government has spent years trying to build a system where every dog in this country is traceable, identifiable, and connected to a responsible owner. That system is now fully active, fully enforced, and no longer something you can ignore without risk. The good news, and it is genuinely good news, is that compliance is simple. It costs very little. In most cases, it takes less time than making a cup of tea. Checking your dog's microchip registration, making sure your name and current address are on a DEFRA-compliant database, and keeping that information updated whenever anything changes, that is all the law asks of you as an ordinary pet owner. Your dog trusts you completely. It depends on you for everything: its safety, its routine, its world. Making sure it is properly registered is one of the most direct ways you can protect it. If it ever gets lost, a correct microchip registration is the fastest route back to you. If it is ever stolen, it is the strongest piece of evidence of your ownership. And if enforcement ever comes knocking, it is what stands between you and a fine or worse. So do not leave this video and forget about it. Take one action today. Just one. Go to www.check-a-chip.co.uk, type in your dog's microchip number and find out where you stand. From there, every other step becomes clear. Your dog cannot do this for itself. You can, and now you know exactly how.